Rambam, big day today. Conclusion of the 14 books of the Rambam. Great accomplishment. And of course, once we accomplish that, guess what? We start over for even greater accomplishments. So we're going straight. We're going to go today, the last two chapters of the day, which are the laws of Mashiach. And there's a lot to bring over here, but let's go right into chapter 11, Malach of Malachim, laws of kings. In the future, Messianic king will arise and renew the Davidic dynasty, restoring it to its initial sovereignty. He will build the temple and gather the dispersed of Israel. Very important that the Rambam is the final word, really, about Mashiach, because he's the only one who gives a teaching on every area of Torah. Right? Every area of Torah, he gives it halacha, things that are not, modern day concern, meaning immediate concern, like how to pray, how to keep Shabbos, how to keep kosher. That's immediate concern for the day. And Mashiach is the future. The Holy Temple was, then offerings. All those things are not, right, contemporary. The Rambam, everything's contemporary. So he will return to the initial sovereignty. He'll build the holy temple, the third and final eternal holy temple, and gather the dispersed of Israel. Then in his days, the observers of the statutes will return to the previous state. We will offer sacrifices, observe the Shabbos and the Jubilee year, according to all the particulars as described by the Torah. Anyone who does not believe in him or does not await his coming denies not only the statements of the other prophets, but those of the Torah and Moshe, our teacher. The Torah testified in his coming, as it says in Deuteronomy, God will bring back your captivity and have mercy upon you. He will again gather you, because he gathered us once, right? Out of the Exodus from Egypt. In your diaspora, even in your diaspora, is at the ends of the heavens. God will gather you up from there and bring you to the land, right? Today we're dispersed in all lands. God will bring us. These explicit words of the Torah include all the statements made by the prophets. Reference to Mashiach is also made in the portion of Bilam, right, who wanted to curse the Jews but gave them blessings, who prophesied of two anointed kings. The first anointed king was David, who saved Israel from her oppressors. And the final anointed king will arise from his descendants, King David's descendants, right, and will save Israel in the end of days. That passage relates to, in the book of Bamidbar, I see it, but not now. This refers to David. I perceive it, but not in the near future. That refers to Melech Mashiach, King Mashiach. A star will go forth from Jacob, refers to David. A staff will arise in Israel, refers to Melech Mashiach, King Mashiach. Crushing all the Moab princes refers to King David. He smote Moab and measures them with a line, estimating all the of Shes's descendants, who was the son of Noach. This refers to Mashiach, King Mashiach, about whom it says in Zechariah, prophesies he will rule from sea to sea. Ah, wow. New meaning from the river to the sea. Wow, guys, we just heard it here for the first time. A new meaning from the river to the sea. Mashiach is going to rule. Wow, 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 wow. Okay. I always wondered what they meant by that. Now we know. Now we know the truth. All right, Edom will be demolished. These are all words from Bilam, right, when he blessed the Jewish people. So they were all very much a parable. And so Rambam is explaining what it means. It refers to King David, one part of the verse, and the other part to King Mashiach, right? This refers to David, as it says in the book of Samuel, Edom became the servants of David. Seir will be destroyed, and destroyed this first King Mashiach prophesies the saviors will send Mount Zion to judge the Mount of Esav. Okay, halacha number 2. Similarly, with regard to the cities of refuge, it states, when God will expand your borders, you must add 3 more cities. This command was never fulfilled. Surely God did not give this command in vain. Speaking about city of refuge, so it means there's no need to cite proofs from the works of the prophets, for all the books are filled with the mention of this matter of Mashiach, right? Prophets, full of it. So just showing how the Torah, right, even though there is no specific mitzvah to believe Mashiach, right? It's not stated, right? And to wait for Mashiach. The Rambam is saying that actually it's full there that it's stated. And that is the whole intended purpose of God's creation. God's creation is in, we're going in circles, and going nowhere. We're going somewhere. We're going to fulfill the ultimate purpose. Halacha number 3, one should not presume that King Mashiach must work miracles and wonders, bring about new phenomena in the world, resurrect the dead, or perform other similar deeds. This is definitely not true. Proof of this can be from the fact that Rabbi Akiva, one of the greater sages of the Mishnah, was one of the supporters of Bar Kochva is also known as King Bar Koziba. I would describe him as King Mashiach. He and all the sages of his generation considered him to be the Messianic king until he was killed because of his sins. Once he was killed, they realized that he was on Mashiach. Sages did not ask him for any signs and wonders. That's the point he wants to bring out over here, right? That he didn't have to do signs and wonders. Their main thrust of the matter is, the Torah, its statutes, and the laws are everlasting. We do not add to them or detract from them. Halacha number 4. If the king will arise from the house of David, diligently contemplates the Torah, observes its mitzvahs as prescribed by the written and the oral law as David, his ancestor, and he will compel all of Israel to walk in the ways of the Torah and rectify the breaches in its observance and fight the wars of God. He may, with assurance, consider him Mashiach. So this is what we call Cheskes Mashiach, right? That it seems like this is the one fitting to be Mashiach, right? Not yet Mashiach, definitively, but he's fitting. This person's fitting, right? Every generation there's someone fitting. So if he succeeds in the above, builds the temple in its place, and gathers the dispersed of Israel, then he is definitely Mashiach. Right? Yeah, those are the last 2 things he needs to do. He will then improve the entire world, motivating all the nations to serve God together. As it says, I will transform the peoples to a pure language, and they all will call upon the name of God and serve him with one purpose. If he did not succeed to this degree, right? He was killed. He surely is not the Redeemer promised by the Torah. Rather, he should be considered as all other proper and complete kings in the Davidic dynasty who died. God caused him to arise only to test the many, and some of the wise men will stumble to try them, to refine, and to clarify until the approach time, because the set time is in the future. Listen to this. Jesus of Nazareth, who aspired to be Mashiach and was executed by the court, was also alluded to in Daniel's prophecies, as it says, vulgar among your people shall exalt themselves in an attempt to fulfill the vision, but they shall stumble. He stumbled. Can there be a greater stumbling block than Christianity? By the way, this is through for the last 1,000 years, This was not in the Rambam. It was taken out. For the last less than 1,000 years, because Rambam was 950 years ago. But it's only last 50 years, right? You know what kind of persecution the Jews have because of this written there? We killed their whatever, their, right? We didn't. We just gave them over to the Romans. The Romans did it. Jews don't crucify. Romans do.
Just this part with him that was brought back.
Other things also. There are a few other things in Rambam that there was always there in hiding, right? But it wasn't in the, in the versions that for public. Yeah. But listen to what he says. It's very interesting. All the prophets spoke of Mashiach as the Redeemer of Israel and their Savior who would gather the dispersed and strengthen their observance of the mitzvahs. In contrast, Christianity caused the Jews to be slain by the sword, the remnants to be scattered and humbled, the Torah to be altered, and the majority of the world to err and serve a God other than Hashem. Nevertheless, the intent of the Creator of the world is not within the power of man to comprehend, for his ways are not our ways, nor are his thoughts, are our thoughts. Ultimately, the deeds of Jesus of Nazareth and that of the Ishmaelite, right? That's what's his name? No. No, can't believe it. Having a senior moment. Islam. Muhammad, right? Making reference to Muhammad over here, who arose after him with only serve. So what are they? What's their purpose? Only serve to prepare the way for Mashiach's coming and the improvement of the entire world, motivating the nations to serve God together. Now, which transform the peoples to the pure language, and they will all call upon the name of God and serve Him with one purpose. So even Christianity, even though with all of its evils, and here he doesn't speak about Islam and its evils because the Jews, in his day, he lived under Muslims, right? And they didn't destroy the Jews at all. They were good to the Jews, right? I mean, they were dhimmis, they were second-class citizens, but they, there weren't pogroms, there weren't inquisitions, and so on. But it's all good because it's all totally to Mashiach. Because after all, those two religions brought a notion of God rather than paganism to the world. That's all part of Mashiach. How will it come about? The entire world has already become filled with the mention of Mashiach, Torah, and mitzvahs. These matters have been spread to the furthermost islands and to many stubborn-hearted nations. They discuss these matters and the mitzvahs of the Torah, saying these mitzvahs were true, but are already negated in the present age and are not applicable for all times. Others say implied in the mitzvahs are hidden concepts that we cannot understand, that cannot be understood simply. The Mashiach has already come and revealed those hidden truths. When the true Messianic King will arise and prove successful his position, becoming exalted and uplifted, they will all return and realize that their ancestors endowed them with a false heritage, and their prophets and ancestors cease them to err.
Who is he referring to, Sister? Who will return? When he said they will all return.
What do you mean? I'm not clearing your question.
Who is Rambam referring to when he says they will all return? Who is the they? And the prophets and so on.
Where is they? Where are you reading?
That's the last time paragraph.
When will rise and prove successful, especially when God is exalted and uplifted. They will all return and realize it. Oh, non-Jews will recognize that Jesus of Nazareth is not the Son of God, and that the Ishmaelite is not a prophet of God. That's what they will realize.
What about those non-Jews who don't even believe in
Okay, so they also have excuse me 1 second, they also have a pulse. Faith, right? Also, that's what we say. The last chapter, we're gonna finish Rambam now. Are you ready? L'chaim, l'chaim. So yeah, the people will, other nation, the people, they will recognize, yeah, the rest of the world. Right. Okay. Do not presume, chapter 12, presume that the Messianic age, any facet of the world's nature will change, or that there will be innovations in the work of creation. Rather, the world will continue according to its pattern. Although it states, a wolf will dwell with the lamb, and the leopard will lie down with the young goat. These words are metaphors and parable. The interpretation of the prophecy is as follows: Israel will dwell securely together with the wicked non-Jews who are likened to a wolf and a leopard, as in the prophecies. Imagine those who are in Gaza, they're wicked, right? That's who he's referring to. We will be in peace with them. That's what Mashiach means. Well, that's in time of Mashiach, not today. It's not today, right? So not to fool ourselves that we can think that they are ready to dwell with us. I mean, deep down they are. They just don't know that. A wolf from the wilderness shall spoil them, and the leopard will stalk their cities. They will all return to the true faith and no longer steal or destroy. Rather, they will eat permitted food in peace, at peace with Israel. So the lion will eat straw like an ox. Similarly, all other, right? In other words, that doesn't mean a lion's going to eat straw. A lion will be a lion still, right? But it means it's a metaphor for those who are people like lions who destroy other people. They're not going to destroy other people anymore, right? Well, there won't be Jew haters anymore, or any kind of hater, right? Similarly, other messianic prophets of this nature are metaphors, prophecies. In the messianic era, everyone will realize which matters were implied to be by these metaphors and which allusions they contain. We'll understand then. The sages thought there will be no difference between the current age and the messianic age, except emancipation from our subjugation to Gentile kingdoms. The simple interpretation of the prophet's words appear to imply that the word Gog and Magog will take place in the beginning of the Messianic era. Before the word Gog and Magog, a prophet will arise to inspire Israel to be upright and to prepare their hearts, as it states, "Behold, I am sending you Elijah." He will not come to declare pure impure or declare the impure pure. He will not dispute the lineage of those who presume to be a proper pedigree, nor will he validate, this speak about Mashiach, right? Nor will he validate the pedigree of those who are lineage who presume blemished. Rather, will establish peace within the world. It says he will turn the hearts of the fathers to the children. There are some sages who say that Elijah's coming will precede the coming of Mashiach. All these and similar matters cannot be definitely known by man until they occur. For these matters are undefined in the prophet's words, and even wise men have no established tradition regarding these matters except their own interpretation of the verses. Therefore, there's a controversy among them regarding these matters. Regardless of the debate concerning these matters, neither the order or of the occurrence of these events or the precise detail are among the fundamental principles of faith, right? Exactly the way it's going to happen. That's our fundamental faith. That's going to happen, Mashiach. Yes, that's fundamental. right? Exactly how will it unfold? Is it going to unfold with a war? Is it going to unfold with a peace treaty? Is it going to unfold with whatever? We don't know exactly, right? So the point is over here, we've got so many teachings in the Torah, right, that are speaking about it. And he's saying they're parables. We don't know exactly the parable, what it means, and therefore how it's going to unfold that parable. So as a result, the person should not occupy himself with the Agadas and homiletics concerning these and similar matters, nor should he consider them as essentials, for the study of them is neither bring fear or love of God. In other words, like some people want to learn so I can know what the future is going to bring. That's going to bring you to the fear of God. Don't learn those parts of the Torah so you can know what's coming up. Learn Torah because it's God's Torah, yes. And you attach yourself to God and have God's wisdom. But not so I can, I can be prepared for the future, right? Similarly, one should not try to determine the appointed time of Mashiach's coming. Our sages declare, may the spirits of those who attempt to determine the time of Mashiach's coming expire. Rather, one should wait and believe in the great concept of the matter as explained. Actually, the Rebbe says not to wait. You're questioning, what does it mean to wait? Do to bring Mashiach, right? Do another mitzvah. Inspire another person in a mitzvah. Okay, number 3. During the era of the Messianic king, once his kingdom has been established and all of Israel is gathered around him, the entire nation's line of descent will be established on the basis of the words and the prophetic spirit that will rest upon him. As it says, he shall sit as a refiner and a purifier. He will purify the lineage of the Levites first, stating he is a priest of defined lineage. He is the Levite defined lineage. Right. In other words, that there's a certainty in his lineage. I'm a Levite. But, I don't know how certain it is. Think it, from what we know, it's certain. But
Mashiach would be a Levite.
no, from King David.
Oh.
No.
What is he recording?
No, he's going to tell me if I'm truly a Levite.
Oh.
Tell me if I'm truly a Levite, right? Right. So he's going to say, he is a Kayin of defined lineage. He is a Levite of defined lineage. Those whose lineage will not be recognized will be lowered to the status of Israelite. This is implied by the verse, and the governor said to them, they should not eat of the most holy things until the priest arises and will wear the ornament tumim. And then he'll be able to tell you if you're a Kohen or not. That's what it means over there. Right, the breastplate that the high priest wears. From this verse, we can infer that the prophetic spirit will be used to define and notify the pedigree of lineage. When he defines the lineage of the Israelites, he will make known their tribal lineage alone, stating that he is not from the tribe, he is not from this tribe, and he is from another tribe. He will not, by contrast, state concerning a person who is presumed to be unblemished lineage. He is legitimate or he's a slave of lineage. For the law is once a family has become intermingled with the entire Jewish people, they remain intermingled. Okay, folks. Well, I think, what do we have? 2 more halachas. 2 more halachas. Wow. The sages and the prophets did not yearn for the Messianic era in order to have dominion over the entire world. Listen to this. This is not Napoleon over here trying to, right? Not the sages and the prophets of Israel. They're not Napoleon. They're not Genghis Khan. They're not Stalin. They're not Hitler. I mean, Yimach Shemam. But even Alexander the Great, who was, Alexander the Great, they're not interested in, that's not what they're interested in. Or to rule over Gentiles, to be, right? After all, listen, hey, tit for tat. We got to give back the Gentiles what they gave to us, right? They ruled over us. We were dhimmis by under the rule of Islam. We were worse in ghettos by Christians. Now we're going to give them a just dessert. We're going to rule over them. No, that's not what we're interested in. Right, not to be exalted by nations or to eat and drink and celebrate. Rather, they desire to be free to involve themselves in Torah and wisdom without any pressures or disturbances, so that they would merit the world to come, as explained in the Hills Tshuva. In other words, all we want is to do good. We're not interested to dominate others, not nations or worlds, not at all. Wow, that's more than powerful. This is so counterintuitive to the human condition, because this is the godly condition that only exists in the truth, Torah. Final halacha. In that era, there will be neither famine or war, envy or competition, for good will flow in abundance, and all the delights will be freely available as dust. As the Rebbe explains, we will think of them as dust. Dust. No one wants dust. But we'll have all the goodies, but they'll be like dust, because we don't care about that. What do we care? The occupation of the entire world will be solely to know God. Therefore, the Jews will be great sages and know the hidden matters, grasping the knowledge of their Creator. So the Jewish people are still going to be a light, actually going to be more a light unto the nations than ever before, because even though the entire world will be involved in occupying them to come to know God. And that's why in my classes over here, there's so many people who aren't Jewish, because we're on the cusp of Mashiach's coming, and therefore they want to know God. That's because that's what's going to be. But the Jewish people are great sages and know the hidden matters, grasping the knowledge of the Creator according to the full extent of human potential. As it states in Isaiah, the world will be filled with the knowledge of God as the water covers the ocean bed. Chazak, chazak, v'nis chazek. Brich rachmana d'se'aitin. Blessed be God who grants us assistance that we were able to finish. This completes the entire text. Blessed be He who spoke, and the world came into being as a whole and in all of its particulars. It concludes the 14th book with the help of the Almighty. The amount of chapters in book 81, in this book are 81. Hilchos Sanhedrin, 26 chapters. Hilchos Edus, that's a book of the High Court. Hilchos Edus of Testimony, 22 chapters. See you 5:30 tonight. Thank you. Hilchos Mamrim, the works of the apostate, 7 chapters. Hilchos Oval of Mornings, 14 chapters. Hilchos Malachim, we just finished, are 12 chapters. The entire text are 83 halachas, 982 chapters, complete and perfect as the praise of God, Creator of the world. Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov. 83 is the numeric value of machala. Machala. Machala, mem, 40. Ches, 8. You following? Who's adding this up? Adding it up, 40 and 8, 48. Lamed, 30, 78. Hey, 5, 83. That's how many chapters or halachas there are. Right here we had, in this book, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, 5 in this book. Altogether, there's 83 in the 14 books, right? The word machala means disease. The Rebbe told people, if you have any kind of disease, the way to get rid of that disease is study Rambam. So Mazel Tov to everyone. That whatever disease that you may have, whatever challenges, difficulties you have, this learning Rambam gives us the opportunity to rid of ourselves of disease, which is, whoa, amazing. So we will begin Sunday. Well, tomorrow we'll begin, but it's Shabbos. We'll begin the cycle again. I invite everybody to come and join us. This time, more people, greater accomplishment, greater learning. And amazing. Mazel tov to everybody.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Rabbi Fine.
Thank you, Rabbi
God
Fine.
bless
Shabbat
you.
Shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Chodesh